I want to talk about silver, but first I want to talk about something I saw on the internet right from the get-go. It's about SGT Bull 088, not 7. And if you can look up, it has a nice thing about, in the background of SGT Bull 07, who's Sean G. Turnbull, whatever it is. It's got nothing to do with Sergeant, and has nothing, no, and there's a lot of people, even if somebody's in the military, that doesn't mean nothing. I mean, really. You play up your military experience, I already figure you're freaking full of shit. So even if somebody was a sergeant or whatever the hell they were, if you start playing that shit up a lot, I already figured you're full of shit. So that don't work on me anyway. But with SGT Bull, I didn't know all that stuff. It was interesting. If you wanted, somebody sent me the link. I don't say who. It was cool though. It was cool. SGT Bull 08. But I already figured out what the guy was. I mean, in my opinion, the way I look, the way I think, I look at things, is that if somebody talks real cute to me and real professional and they're all talking sweet, I don't trust that sucker. And I don't trust him at all. I don't trust him. I don't. So, I don't know. It seems to work on everybody else. They talk real cute and stuff. They should be pastor so-and-so or some priest or some bullshit, I hate professionals. I can't stand them. Man, they're bullshit. But I like doing analytical work and things like that with numbers, so, But I don't like professionals. They're dorks, man. I always had a problem going into work with a Harley or something. It's like I had to hide the damn thing, you know what I mean? Because they're fucking, I don't know. And, they get their feathers flustered. And if you start working at, well, whatever, I don't want to get on that shit. But the thing is, I want to say is that with, most of the stuff you see out there, everybody's got something to sell. Yeah, I guess I'm selling something too, but I'm selling it for freaking pennies versus what I was getting, what I could be getting. So, whatever. Now, I want to get on with this silver stuff again, because I know I got trashed today, and I really didn't expect it to happen today or any day in particular, but I just figure it ain't really going up solid till other problems start kicking in, like when the budgets go up to Congress again, like for at the end of the fiscal year, and they're talking about raising the debt ceiling some more, where we're going to get the money from, and then, any hint about downgrading the debt or something like that, that will always raise up gold real fast. That always does. So, actually 18 is a pretty damn strong support. But if anybody can tell you where the price of silver goes, is they're full of shit, because nobody knows for sure. But 18 is pretty strong support. But I think it's going to start cooking up again, going up, is when we get more towards the end of the summer. And that's usually what happens anyway, if you think about it. The summer's always been bad for metals. But the other thing is, what's going on is oil. Oil's going up. And it's over tensions in Egypt. But you see, that's a good example how fear, psychiatry, and tensions, and, fear in the markets, whatever you want to call it, can raise the price of something a lot. And actually, most of the market is fear, psychology, and greed. That's the whole damn thing in one shot. I mean, there's fundamentals going on, but that's really not, those things, the fundamentals take a long time to, take hold. It's mostly fear, greed, and psychiatry and things like that. So why is oil going up? It's because there's more tensions in Egypt again. Like the military did get rid of Mohammed Morsi. They got rid of him. Well, they didn't kill him. They should have. In my opinion, I would have just wasted the fucker. That's just me. But if you go ahead, if you're thinking about, why is there tensions in there, it's because now the Muslim Brotherhood and people who support President Morsi are fighting back because they don't want him removed. So there's actually more tensions going on than before. But like I said before, and I know it's freaking Mr. Lindsey Williams, Pastor Lindsey Williams, but he's right on the money with this shit. Whether he's pencil pushing bunch of bullshit or whatever the hell he is. He's right. Whoever the guy that told me information, it's accurate. And it's how they freaking play the game in the real world. You know? It's like they throw a little money out there and they like watching people fight over it too. It's another game. Because I know how these guys, I know how to freaking some people think. I do know how some people think. So, when, you know, what they want, their goal is, it's not like nobody's behind the Muslim Brotherhood, no, you know, in the United States. They were behind them, but they're not behind them in a real true sense. They're just behind them to freaking create turmoil in the Middle East. They want that whole place to burn down. They want the place destroyed internally with strife. And that's good for the price of oil, especially when you're coming on really strong with oil production. That's what they're doing. Now, I'm going to throw something out there because I know people with silver are all freaking worried about the New World Order, the sky's going to fall. I'm going to tell you this, man. First off, what's far more important than silver is having arms and food. Firepower and food, man. I'm telling you, that's far more important. Silver's really good to have, though, too. And it will go up a shitload. I got doubts about the extreme predictions on the other way. I think the extreme predictions on the downside are as about as bad as exaggeration as the $100 predictions on the upside from before. I don't think it's gonna, because I think it's only got a couple months before other factors come into play that's going to start driving the metals up, because like they're selling off the bonds, you know, there's the economies aren't really looking that good. They get some decent reports, but I think they're fudged a lot. It is a super major slowdown in China. It was a lot worse than they thought, so they're going to have to undergo a lot more QE, and Japan's going to go in record QE. And I think the next, you see, this stuff with the talking about the taper is kind of like Bernanke exit strategy. The taper ain't going to happen. They're going to hit QE really hard. That's what's probably going to happen. But I want to tell you this. If you got weapons, you got the ace against the New World Order. I'm not talking about, you know, somebody goes, how are you going to go up against this, the Gestapo? Well, call them the Gestapo. How are you going to go up against the Gestapo? How are you going to do that? You're just a little peasant with a pitchfork. How are you going to do that? You know what? There's like millions and millions and millions of armed people in the United States. If the government turned into the Nazi Gestapo communist worst thing in the world, the thing that everybody freaks out about, right? Just say it happened. If you whacked 200,000 of them, right? You know what? At 400,000 just life insurance payouts each one, that's $80 billion. But you know what? It probably cost them $1 trillion and all the bullshit. And, you know, funeral expenses, all the other shit that goes on, all the red tape, the bureaucracy. It probably cost them $1 trillion. The whole freaking thing would bust. So, you know, I'm not recommending you do that, but you know what I'm saying is, like, if you really had like this Gestapo, you know, like Alex Jones paints the Nazis are on the way and all this shit, so people watch his dumb show. If it really happened like that, you're not gonna win on, like, you'll be dead if you tried it. But if you whack some of them, guess what? You cost them too much money. And you know what? When war happens, it always is over freaking money. You know, all that shit where they talk about, oh, bad people did this and your people did that, and that's what you're fighting for. Bullshit, it's over freaking money. It's always over money, man. Always. So, you know, I just say it as like, you know, you stick with your guns, you're cool. And, you know, I compare guns to like something real and tangible, like silver, something real and tangible. You know, you want to stick with the, you know, the rule of law on a piece of paper. Say, I got this to uphold. This will protect me because this is the law. That's sort of like what you say with fiat paper, right? You know, when it really comes down to what's going to protect you, some solid object that you could have in your hands, right? So, silver, and guns, and food. So, I just want to state that using a little common sense goes a hell of a long way. But fear in the markets, psychiatry or psychology or whatever it is actually what's going to drive up these freaking metals. There's going to be a panic into them at one point in time. At one point in time. And I know Lindsey Williams aggravates the hell out of me to listen to him too. He's a freaking, I don't even want to say it. I think he's probably a 88th degree Mason working on the inside too, for all I know. But there's some information that's coming out good that I'd say the dollar probably isn't going to come down all the way. You know, it may get devalued or whatever. It might lose its world reserve currency, but there's too many resources locally, domestic in the United States that are coming on strong. We got very, very high natural gas production coming on and oil production. So it's like, you know, we got the technical know-how to do that. That's the thing. And, you know, it's like other countries, just maybe they might have that in their ground too. Doesn't mean it's going to be developed. So, you know, as far as the collapse of the United States, I don't buy it. I don't buy into that bullshit. But there's a lot of shit going on. But you should never freaking, I don't know. I totally hate professionals anyway, so I can't work with them, man. I'll deck them. I swear to God, I'll freaking belt them right in the freaking head. I mean, I screw them up. That's why they turn my stomach so bad. That's really how bad it is. But I like doing analytical work. So, but I have to tell you that fear in psychiatry and psychology in the markets is going to drive silver up and gold up. Just like it's driving up oil right now because there's tensions in Egypt, which maybe they could stop in 2 days and oil drop down $10. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? A lot of it is that type of thing. So when we get the budgets coming up here in for the end of the year, and when these things come about, people are going to realize they're going to be talking about the government not being able to pay its debt, and you know how long is this going to be able to continue, and that's going to drive the market for gold. That's what usually does it. You know, fear that the government's not going to be able to meet its obligations. So, you know, that's really what it is. So, you know, so people are saying like the metals are going to be forever a good hold. No, they're not. But they do have a lot more life in them yet, and we have not seen the top. That's important to consider.